Yo, what is up, boys? It is your boy Xehther here, back at it again to bring you guys part 2 for what if Naruto had assault mode. On the last part, I pretty much left off with the notion of whether what's going to be Naruto's fate. Will he be judged by the village elders and kicked out or exiled, or will he be placed in Team 7, or will he be GG'd in the series ends? Well, you guys chose that he's going to be GG'd. So, yeah, this is where the video ends. Bye, guys. It has been your boy Xehther, and I am out. No, I'm just kidding. But seriously, though, you guys ended up voting for Naruto to get forgiven and join Team 7. So, that is exactly what I'm going to be doing. So, yeah, with that being said, I'm not going to waste you guys' time. So, we're just going to go ahead and get started. Okay, so where this story is actually all going to pick off is after the village elders look at each other. They'd proceed to vote on what's going to happen. Some of the elders would decide that it would be best to just get rid of Naruto and switch the Nine Tails Jinchuriki into another vessel, as some of the other people would decide that maybe it would be best to just exile him from the Leaf Village, seeing as he didn't do anything. But all of them would look at them like they're crazy. I mean, if they exile Naruto, they won't have the Nine Tails on their side, and Naruto's already powerful at that, so maybe he could be used as an asset to the village and join one of the teams, be under the tutelage of none other than Kakashi Hatake. As some of the elders would begin to talk about things, and it'd be about 30 minutes or so until they finally came to one decision. They decided that they're going to let Naruto stay in the village and forgive him for what happened. They're going to assign him under Kakashi Hatake, and that same day they would let Naruto go back to his normal home, which when he arrives would actually be a complete dump. So Naruto would immediately have to clean up his old house, and yeah, he would create a bunch of clones and they would just get to work. They would start cleaning that thing like it was nobody's business. But in terms of Kakashi, he would actually have to, well, essentially go over to the village elders and be explained and, caught up with the situation, as he would learn about what had ended up happening and that they're actually going to be switching Sai out for another shinobi, this being Naruto. And Kakashi would basically not really have any quarrels with this, seeing as Sai was kind of a weirdo. Yeah, he was strong in his own right, but he kind of didn't mesh well at all with Sasuke and Sakura. Both of them kind of hated him, and Sasuke felt so inferior to that man. He just wished it was someone else. But yeah, ultimately Naruto would be told that he's going to have to go with Team 7. And this is when he would basically meet with them the very next day after he cleaned up the house. The day before he meets up with them, however, Kakashi would arrive at Naruto's apartment and he would tell Naruto that, well, he is going to be his team leader. He's going to be with him for a while, and they better get to know each other well if they're going to be working together. As Naruto would agree on this, and they would basically proceed to get to know each other a little bit, with Kakashi realizing as soon as he sees Naruto one good time that Naruto's alive. Minato's son is still alive. After this whole time, he thought that Minato Sensei's son had perished in the Nine Tails attack, or that simply he had escaped after a bunch of years. Oh no, not the Nine Tails attack, but that he had been, destroyed by some of the villagers, or, he had escaped. That's honestly what he thought had happened, or either been kidnapped by the Akatsuki by this point. So yeah, Kakashi was glad at this, and he would basically give a smile towards Naruto, to which Naruto would basically at this point be putting up his fake persona. At this point, Naruto would have been told that he needs to control his emotions, so Naruto's personality is quite literally Meliodas'. He tries to act in that way as much as he possibly can, but deep down he's hardened and dark. And whenever he lets out his assault mode and uses it, his personality just goes blank, dark. So he kind of puts up the facade that Meliodas does to basically just look a little better. So yeah, the very next day, Naruto would arrive at the training grounds with Kakashi and the new Team 7. As Kakashi would tell them all that they're going to have a redo of the bell test, Naruto would look at his new teammates and he would say, "What's up?" As they'd basically look at him and say, hey, Naruto, so you're the Nine Tails Jinchuriki, huh? As Naruto would look at Sasuke and he'd say, "Yup, that's me." As Sasuke would look at Naruto, he'd proceed to basically say, "Nice. So that means you're powerful, huh? Well, don't get in my way." As basically Sasuke would look away from Naruto, Naruto would look at Sasuke and say, okay." As he'd look at Sakura and immediately he'd get behind her as he'd squeeze them cheeks. As Sakura would say, "Eee! What are you doing?" As she would slap Naruto in the face. Naruto would say, as he'd proceed to look at her and say, "Sate, sate, sate." No, I'm just kidding, but he'd basically look at her as Sakura would look at Naruto and say, "What are you?" As Naruto would pretty much proceed to stand up as soon as Kakashi arrives, and Sakura wouldn't get to beat on this man, seeing as she tried, but this man Naruto just grabbed her hands and just stopped her from hitting him altogether. As after this, he would proceed to basically look towards Kakashi's direction as he arrived, and he would explain the bell test to Naruto, who would basically say that that sounds simple enough. Naruto would immediately get into combat stance, and immediately as soon as Kakashi says 3, 2, 1, Naruto would blitz off, as immediately his eyes would go black and he would get demon curse marks all over him, as his clothes would be changed to that of the Meliodas' assault mode clothes with the demon particles all around him. Naruto would look towards Kakashi as in an instant he would rip both bells from Kakashi's waist, and he'd basically say, "So, looks like I passed. So does that mean that our team is working well together?" As Kakashi would look at Naruto and just be in shock, as he would think that this kid is multiple times more powerful than he is, and that he's definitely going to need to train if he wants to ever keep up with this kid. I mean, he might as well be the Chunin instructor. Look at how powerful he is. As he would remind him a lot of Minato, who's carefree with that same personality, but when it came down to it, Minato was a very skilled battler. He was a very skilled brawler when it really came down to it at the end of the day. So yeah, Naruto would essentially proceed to just look at Kakashi, as he'd basically say, team, what's up now?" As Kakashi would look at Naruto, he would then look back at Sasuke and Sakura, as he would say that, he needs to go and that they just need to get to know each other, seeing as they're going to be entered in the Chunin exams together. And Sakura would then ask why Sai isn't with them anymore. He was better compared to this weirdo and perv. As Naruto would proceed to look at her, as he would like wink and he'd basically blow a kiss at Sakura. As she'd say, "What's wrong with you?" Naruto would actually look like a literal Meliodas. And yes, Naruto's going to be short. I had to do it. I'm sorry, I had to do it. He's gonna grow in part 2 of Naruto, but so far he's 12 years old and he's still short like Meliodas. So yeah, Naruto would proceed to essentially just look at his team and just start asking them stuff about themselves, as they would both kind of ignore Naruto in the beginning, but after Naruto got the picture, he would just realize that, yeah, these two are pretty complicated and he's not going to be getting anywhere if he stays like this. So he'd basically just go home, and the very next day they'd meet up with Kakashi, as he would explain what the Chunin exams are, and they would have 1 week to prepare for them. As Naruto and Team 7 would basically use that week to try to get some team bonding in, I guess you could say, or try to adjust to the new team that they have. As Naruto would actually be asked by Sasuke to have a sparring session with him, and Naruto would completely devastate Sasuke, with Sasuke getting enraged, realizing that not again. Not only is there someone who's stronger than him once again, but this kid is even more powerful than the kid before him. So Sasuke would get a little irritated by that, and he'd proceed to decide to train on his own, with Sakura following Sasuke and Naruto just being left to his own devices. Naruto would basically proceed to train by himself, and we're just going to skip to the day of the Chunin exams. They'd be walking in the building of the Chunin exams, getting ready to go to the waiting area, as immediately they'd be placed under a genjutsu, which Naruto would immediately dispel. As soon as they walk inside, some boy with the green outfit, this being Rock Lee, would appear, and he would challenge Sasuke to a battle, to which Sasuke would gladly accept, thinking that this bushy brow kid has nothing on him and he's finally going to get to show off for once. As Sasuke would get completely bodied, and this is when Sasuke would just get angry, as he would think that he's been taking nothing but fat L's recently. and that maybe his training isn't as suitable as he thought it was. So Sasuke's anger would just start boiling up more and more, seeing as he's taking L's left and right. This man Sasuke cannot get a break. But yeah, not only did he take an L to Sai and Naruto, but he took an L to some kid with some weird eyebrows. Like, come on now, bro, you don't do that. But anyways, he would basically just look at Naruto, as Naruto would say, hey, don't look at me. And Lee would just sense Naruto's aura and presence, as he would say, I wish to fight you as well. What is your name? As Naruto would look at Rock Lee and he would say, the name's Naruto. As Rock Lee would say, you're the new Chunin, right? Might Guy Sensei told me about you. And Naruto would say, Might Guy, you mean the legendary, the big beast, the beast of the leaf? Naruto would ask that, as he'd proceed to basically be told yes by Lee, and immediately Lee would blitz at Naruto, as Naruto would just with one finger just catch all of Lee's attacks, to which Lee would just be shocked. He'd be thinking, how powerful can this kid be? He must be the same age as I am, even younger actually. And he would just be wondering to himself what kind of training this kid did. In terms of Naruto's training, it was even crazier than Rock Lee's. So yeah, Naruto is broken, to say the least. Naruto would then proceed to just walk away, and in terms of Naruto's outfit, he would be wearing Meliodas' outfit of, the tavern leader, or the drunken Meliodas one. Our usual 7 Deadly Sins outfit, Meliodas, instead of that ugly orange jumpsuit that Naruto wears in the original canon. That jumpsuit is horrible. That jumpsuit is disgusting. I have so many things to say about it, but you guys are not here to hear me talk about how awful Naruto's jumpsuit is. You're here for the what if. So, that being said, they'd walk inside and they would meet the rest of the Konoha 12, as he would proceed to essentially just go through with everything and basically just do everything as he had done in canon. He'd proceed to pretty much just walk inside and say that he's going to be the strongest, to which people would get angry, and when the guy with the weird windpipes on his arm would come up to Naruto would slap that man, causing for them to be pretty terrified of Naruto. If he was able to slap him that easily, imagine what he could do to the rest of them. So a lot of people would be on the lookout for Naruto, and this is when they would go to the exam place where they would pass that. I'm not going to cover the part where Naruto says that he's not going to give up, seeing as he doesn't even do that. He kind of just stays sitting down, and the rest of Team 7 does as well. Everybody would pass passes, and there's no situation with Anko due to the fact that this Naruto just wouldn't say anything. Oh wait, no, there definitely is. As soon as Naruto sees Anko, he would immediately blitz under her, as he would say, as he'd basically be right under her legs, and he'd be looking up as he'd be like, these are nice, as he begins to poke up, and immediately Anko would just throw a kunai straight at Naruto's throat, to which Naruto would catch with 2 fingers and destroy, as Naruto would say, hey beautiful, the name's Naruto Uzumaki, and Anko would just be angry as she would use her strongest jutsu and aim it straight at Naruto, to which Naruto would proceed to essentially look at her and just basically sidestep the attack, and it would hit another participant in the Chunin exams, destroying him immediately. So that team would be down to 2 members, and Anko would be sorry for that, but she'd be trying to hit Naruto and she'd be failing pretty epically at that. She'd be failing pretty awfully. Orochimaru wouldn't even be around due to the fact that, Naruto already did this stuff. Oh, wait. Did I say that did I say that the Chunins already went through with the Chunin exams? No, I did not. I did not say that on the last part. And if I did, guys, I do apologize for retconning it, but I'm pretty sure I didn't. And this is the first time that I'm covering the Chunin exams. So that being said, they go into the Forest of Death. Naruto goes off to take a leak. And basically, these events would play out as you would expect them to. Naruto would just go over, take a leak, and come back to his team, who's getting attacked by the sound ninjas, trying to catch Sasuke off guard. At this point, they had knocked him out. And as soon as Naruto arrives, it's just an instant GG. He takes each and every single one of those members down before they even get a chance to do a thing. He would take their scroll and they would go over to the arena, where they would actually be the first ones to arrive With second being, of course, the Hidden Sand Village, being Gaara, the future Kazekage, our girl Tamari, and Kankuro. And as soon as Naruto sees Tamari, he would immediately walk up to her. He is just attracted. Like, this man looks at her and just immediately just thinks that, yeah, that's his girl. As Naruto would walk up to Tamari, he would start flirting with her a little bit, and she would do the same back, which would actually cause Gaara to get a little angry by the fact that she's talking to another, person outside of their Hidden Sand Village. But Gaara would just kind of walk away. As Kankuro would get angry and try to actually kill Naruto, but Naruto would just dodge his attacks as he continues to flirt with Tamari, which would lead into Naruto and Tamari actually doing a little bit of flirting before the battles and on the couple of days that they have before the Chunin exams, little preliminaries, seeing as there's about 2 days before everybody's, comes back to the place. As also, guys, if you guys hear these weird squeaking noises, it's from my chair. I'm using a different one than usual, and it's kind of squeaky, but my other chair's a little dirty right now since my mom cut my hair in it, and there's hairs all over it. Anyways, that being said, though, Naruto would proceed to pretty much just clap them cheeks. He would clap Tamari that same night and the next night, and it would go on for hours. As Tamari would she'd be screaming, and Naruto would be enjoying himself greatly. No, but anyways, Naruto would basically just come out the very next day, as they would have to take place in the little preliminaries, to which everything would pretty much go like normal, except this version of Naruto would body this man Kiba, and there would be nothing left of this man. There would be no hope for Kiba whatsoever. Naruto would just use nothing but his aura to get Kiba to just drop dead. He would use, if you guys have seen My Hero Academia, which I'm sure most of you guys have since you're here, and I'm on My Hero and Naruto channel, but if you're only here for the Naruto what ifs, all good. But essentially what it is when you use your bloodlust to basically paralyze someone. Oh wait, that Orochimaru does. I am so dumb. I'm sorry guys, but yeah, Naruto basically uses bloodlust to make Kiba just back down immediately, and Akamaru wouldn't be able to attack him in the same way that happened with Gaara. So yeah, after that, they'd be told about the 1 month training arc. Naruto would actually not even get angry when Hinata gets hit, and Hinata would actually have to be saved by Kurenai and the rest of everybody, who basically just told Neji not to do that. Of course, this would lead into the 1 month of training, and in this version, Naruto would basically, after all said and done, he would be walking out of the arena as he would see Asana, and he would immediately go over there as he decides that he's finally gonna cut loose and just let free for once. It's been such a long time since he's been to that place. And he would proceed to basically just go over there and walk over there with a towel around his waist. As soon as he does that, he would see some man with some pointy white hair. This being Jiraiya. As Naruto would meet him, and immediately after seeing that he was spying on the girls, Naruto would jump up with him and say, "Hey, can I join you?" As Jiraiya would just look at Naruto and he would say, "Huh?" He would see that it's a little 12-year-old kid, and he would start laughing as he would say, "Kid, sure you can." As he would look towards Naruto's direction, and they would both just start peeping on the girls, as Naruto would say, "Yeah, that one right there. Yeah, that one's packing." As Jiraiya would say, "Yeah, but I'm looking at that one over there." As Naruto would say, "Yeah, she's a little old for me." As Jiraiya would just be looking at this kid, and he would see the golden hair and blue eyes, and he would immediately notice that this is exactly who he was looking for. He would jump away and say, "Naruto, right?" As Naruto would look at Jiraiya, he would then say, "Yeah, how'd you know?" He would basically say that he was actually looking for him, and that he's one of the legendary Sanin. As Naruto would basically immediately after looking at Jiraiya, he'd say, "Yeah, I know. Orochimaru's told me about you." And Jiraiya would look at Naruto as he would say, "What?" And Naruto would basically look at him as he would proceed to explain that, yeah, he knows about him, He knows about the legendary Sanin. And Jiraiya would look at Naruto as he just says, "Of course you do." He'd basically explain to Naruto that he's here, and if he wants him to train him, he definitely can. As Naruto would immediately take him up on that offer, and in terms of the 1 month that they have to train, Jiraiya would actually teach Naruto the Rasengan and the summoning jutsu, but when Naruto tries to summon something, he can't summon the toads. Instead of summoning that, Naruto ends up summoning demons. And what demons does he summon? Let me give you a hint. It's the 10 Commandments. Yes, Naruto literally can summon the 10 Commandments on sight. He would summon Galan, the commandment of truth, and immediately Jiraiya would wonder how he was able to do that. Galan would look at Naruto as he would immediately say, "Kid, how was I summoned here?" To which Naruto would look at Galan and say he used a summoning contract. And Galan would immediately say that he dares summon the mighty Galan. As Naruto would look at him and he'd begin to say, "Yeah, I summoned you." As Galan would swing his axe right at him, Naruto would catch it with one finger and his eyes would go black as Galan would say, you're just like Meliodas," as he would get down on one knee and he would say, "I'm sorry." As immediately Naruto would say, "That's more like it." He'd proceed to basically just get to know Galan, and he would end up summoning the rest of them for the 1-month training, as well as doing a little bit of research with Jiraiya sensei. And yeah, this is basically where I'm going to be leaving off this episode of What If Naruto Had Assault Mode. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure to go down below and smash that like button, as well as turn those post notifications on if you want to know what happens on the next part. The next part should be uploaded sometime soon. But with that being said though, guys, it has been your boy Xehther, and I am out. Peace.